Civil War. I'll open it up at random, and you'll see how many color plates and photographs, how many drawings there are. There's plenty of text as well for a good, serious study of the Civil War, but lavishly illustrated with maps, as you can see, and the Matthew Brady and other photographs from that era. Absolutely fascinating subject matter and treated as only American Heritage might. That's available at the $150 level or $12.50 per month. 21 calls now in with 82 to go, and precious few minutes before we need to go back to the program. Won't you say yes? Surge to the telephone. Well, you can just walk to the telephone if you want, but help us surge past that finish line of needing 103 calls, and our business today is done. 881-4800 in Buffalo or 1-800-727-1017.
Sometimes we find we get caught up in the excitement of the moment, and we say things that sort of don't make a lot of sense to you. And when we say we need to keep the phones busy, well, you can't keep the phones busy, but you can keep one telephone busy with one telephone pledge call. And when we talk about the numbers and we tell you how far away we are from the goal, really all it really boils down to is asking you the question, have you made your membership pledge yet? If you have, great. Thank you very much. You've helped us get this far. But if the answer to that question from your household is no, you're the one person right now that can keep one phone ringing and get us that much closer to reaching out and taking in that $2,000 challenge so that we can provide more programs, more moments, extraordinary moments like this for you on the television dial. If programs like this, of this quality, of this historic significance were available everywhere else on TV, then maybe we'd understand why it was a little hard to get a membership pledge from you. But that's not the case. This is really something unique, something special and extraordinary. 24 calls in and 99 away. I want to show one more thank you gift real quickly, and then we're going to go on and trust that we're going to take as many of those calls as we can in the next half minute or so. This is the companion book to the program that we're watching, the hardcover edition of the Civil War, with help by Ken and Rick Burns, in addition to other writers putting this book together. A wonderful treasure trove, really, of opportunity for you to look back and remember some of the extraordinary moments from the series in the book at the $240 level or $20 a month. We're going to go ahead. We're going to show you one more time.
Can you do that?
Sure,
Just one more time?
One more time. The
caller on the phone.
The value on the videotapes, and that is right here. The videotape collection at the $300 level, the entire set of 9 videotapes with 10 hours of programming on them for a $300 gift or $25 a month. Lots and lots of interest in that. Ask about that when you call. Put it on your credit card. It's a lot easier to make a pledge that way. Take away the Shelby Foot books if you want for a pledge at the $300 level as well, or all of that together for a $500 pledge. We really need to go ahead. We are 96 calls away. No, 86 calls. It must be. Or 76 calls away. Paul's having problems with his math now.
I certainly am.
We know one
76.
thing. We're going on to the program. We're going to leave the telephone number up. That's two things we know. And so the third thing we know is that we haven't taken your pledge yet. Please give us a call right now. We're so close to reaching out and earning the challenge. With your help, we'll do it. Enjoy the program, but call with your pledge, please, at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017, 75 calls away.
You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving western New York and southern Ontario.
The Civil War will continue in just a couple of minutes. Paul and I are here with you. I'm Cynthia Jackson. This, of course, is Paul Hartman. We're going to watch another program segment in just a few minutes. And then at 7 o'clock this evening, we're going to take a break and watch a couple of public affairs programs, Inside Washington and Wall Street Week. And then beginning at 8 o'clock, we'll continue with the series tonight. We are so excited here in the membership studio. We've been working since noon today, almost 7 hours, working on a goal of 400 new members for Channel 17, the first of a two-part goal that will bring us a $2,000 challenge. Let me show you the number of calls we are away now from reaching the first part of that goal, the first 400 new members. We're just 53 membership pledge calls away. And friends, we need to do that right now in the next very few minutes. It's clear to us now we're not going to have another opportunity. Right now, we need you to rush to your telephone and be one of the final 53 people to call and help us earn the terms, the first part of this challenge that we'll continue working on after 8 o'clock this evening. It's been a terrific day of television. It's been a wonderful day of membership activity. And now we have the chance to put a wonderful cap on that afternoon and early evening's worth of activity by having you go to your telephone and be one of the final 53 people we need. Imagine this. We've already come So far, 347 people have already called and made membership pledges. Now it's just down to you and 53 other people calling, and I just know we can get there. If you'll take a minute to reflect back on how much this program means to you, and then turn that into a membership pledge at the level you choose, whether that's a $25 gift or a $500 gift, or anywhere in between, you are needed to be in the membership family this evening. Please go to your telephone right now and make that membership pledge. We want to show you right away that you can have the complete collection of videotapes at an astounding membership pledge level. We've not been able to put together a terrific deal like this in the past for these particular tapes, but this time only they're available for a $300 pledge. That's 9 video cassettes with all 10 hours of the Civil War, uninterrupted by membership breaks or anything else. You can have it to look upon at your leisure, to pass down as a treasured gift in your family, or to share with a school or a church group or a community group that you might know, so that you can pass the good work along, the good work of Ken and Rick Burns and all of their terrific, talented people that they put together to make this episode, these wonderful episodes, available to you. That could be your thank you gift at the $300 level. Pay it at $25 a month, or put it right now on your credit card, which is the very easiest way to become a member, and more about that later. We have taken 2 calls. We are 51 away. If you think you're going to enjoy high drama by listening to what Paul and I have to say instead of making a pledge call, the drama will be reduced and the success rate will increase if you'll just go to your telephone right away and make that pledge call. We're so close. I know we can get there with your help at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
Cynthia, there are now 3 callers on the line. That means we're just 50 calls away from a major milestone. Won't you be part of a great grand celebration this afternoon? Yes. Say yes. 881-4800 in Buffalo, or 1-800-727-1017. Imagine it this way, if you will. Imagine 70,000 TV households that are already members of Channel 17, hovering in your area, in your neighbor, around your house, and they're calling to you, join us, join us. You'll like the programs even better. You'll feel better about Channel 17. You'll be part of the family, and we'll have the dollars that you contribute to buy and air great programs like the Civil War. We're a few minutes away from going back to this last part of this episode, and we will not have any further time this afternoon to stay on track toward that 400. 347 pledgers had called in the afternoon. Now, we have 11 calls in with just 42 to go to hit that 400 magic mark. Will you be one of the part of the solution, not part of the problem? Say yes to public television this afternoon. Don't be a naysayer. Say, I know everybody's budget's tight, and if I can afford $5 this month, I can afford $5 next month, I can afford $5 in, what does that make? March, April, May. May!
Don't start with
I'm gonna be able to afford $5 for the best public television station anywhere in Southern Ontario or Western New York, also the only public television station in that area. Think of the programs that come to you because you'll make a contribution. Don't say no. Understand that everybody's budget's tight and everybody is making a contribution. But we have thank you gifts. If you're able to join us at one of those upper levels, we have wonderful thank you gifts. We'll send you a big 4-page list. You'll have fun looking through that and choosing your favorite if you're of a mind to. And then once your pledge is paid, we'll send you that thank you gift. If you're able to join us at the $20 per month level, I suggest you put that $240 on one of your charge cards, and we'll show you why in just a minute. At the $240 level, one of the options that you'll see on that thank you gift list is this, the Civil War. It is the companion volume to the series. Gosh, there are almost 500 pages here, and as you'll see, it is full of the same kind. It's the best of the best, creme de la creme here, in terms of photographs and maps from the series itself. So Ken Burns has worked with his production team, and they've not only turned out this incredible 10-hour television series, which we're celebrating in Marathon again this afternoon, but the Civil War volume, and that's available to you at the $20 per month level or $240 gift level. As we have said all afternoon, however, if you can make a pledge of any size and put it on your charge card, either Visa, MasterCard, or Discover card this afternoon, guess what? If your gift is at $240 and you charge it, you'll get this, if that's your choice, but you'll also get these 2 things. One, the Channel 17 sports or casual watch. Watch 17. And also, you'll get the National Park Service brochure on the Civil War battlefields. The watch, as you can see, shows the time. You touch the little button on the right there, it shows the date. Touch it again, it shows the seconds. And so we've got two, not one, but two very special thank you gifts to all who charged their pledges this afternoon. So if you're making a $35 gift and you charge it, you're going to get those two. But guess what? One more thing. Every pledger this afternoon is also receiving a copy of the Sullivan-Ballou letter, which begins, "My very dear Sarah, the indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow, lest I should not be able to write again." This just breaks me up. I feel impelled to write a few lines that may fall under your eyes when I shall be no more. And he was not, as a matter of fact. That was written 7 days before he died at Bull Run. It's a wonderful, wonderfully human letter, which we'll send a copy, this calligraphy copy, to you for all pledgers this afternoon, whether you charge or not. Go to your telephone. If you're in Buffalo, we're so close we need your help. If you're in Toronto or Jamestown or anywhere else, we're so close we need your help. The numbers are on your screen. The top one is for Buffalo, the bottom one for anywhere. It's toll-free. Go to the phone now. We're so close to our portion of a $2,000 challenge.
Paul, I'm going to let you check the math since you are the one that's been controlling that for me today. We're going to go right ahead and show you some more of the terrific thank you gifts. Our phones are a little bit silent right now, though, and we need to change that situation around if we're going to meet this goal. Here are 2 recorded versions of the music from the Civil War. You can have the audio cassette, which is over here, for a pledge at the $45 level. Imagine that, a thank you gift for a pledge of less than $50. If you're thinking about that and you'd like to have the compact disc, that's available for a pledge at just the $60 level, or $5 a month. We have not often been able to offer recorded music at those levels before, but what a nice keepsake from the Civil War for you at either the $45 or the $60 level, depending on the technology that's right for you. Ask about those when you call if you can't remember before you get to the telephone. The only important thing is that you remember the phone number so you can make your call and connect in with us so we can offer you the information that you're looking for. Let me show you again the terrific deal on the video cassettes and the books. Now, this is really a special, extraordinary thing we've been able to put together for you. The videotapes, which are here, and you see all the different parts of the Civil War reproduced professionally for you in their very own slipcases. That can come to you for a $300 pledge to Channel 17. Another choice at that level is sitting beside the tapes, and that is Shelby Foote's 3-volume masterwork on the Civil War, complete narrative from beginning to end. That's available now for a $300 pledge, or $25 a month. Here's an even more extraordinary deal, however. If you can't decide between those two, and you can make your gift $500 in total, we'll send all of it to you. The complete set of videotapes and the complete set of Shelby Foote's books together for a membership pledge at $500. Not for every family, yes, we know that, but lots of people are calling and doing that this afternoon, so we wanted to make sure you knew about it too. Here's a gift at the $90 level. Maybe that sounds better for you. It's a pictorial history of the Civil War years, and this could be your gift. This really is very close to what we're seeing on television because, although of course I've opened up to lots of pages with lots of text, there are lots and lots of photos and engravings and reproductions of posters and newspapers and so on. A really wonderful pictorial guide to that time that we're all watching about right now and re-experiencing through Ken Burns and his wonderful television production. That could be your choice for just a pledge at the $90 level, or $7.50 a month. Paul is refiguring the numbers for me here. I know one thing, we've not yet reached that goal. We're not yet at the mark of 400 pledgers in this afternoon since we began at noon, and we need to be in the next very few minutes. We are 29 calls in right now.
29 calls in.
And some number of calls away. 20-some number of
24 calls away.
We need some help with our math. You can figure it out. You just need to make your one pledge. Don't worry about the rest of those numbers. I know we'll get there. If we could take, in fact, a call on every single one of the phones that is womaned or manned here in the television studio, we would be there just as quick as you can blink, because we've got a great new group of volunteers who have joined our group that have been here for some time now. Lots and lots of terrific young people who are here to take your membership pledge. And if every one of them was busy taking a pledge call, we'd be at that goal and beyond it and back to the program. But we're waiting to talk to you right now. They're not all busy with membership pledges, and they need to be if we're going to make the goal right now in the next very few minutes. We've been working on this since noon today. We're now down to the final minutes and the final pledges, and down to needing your pledge. If you thought we'd get there without you, you know what the answer is. The answer is yes, we need your pledge. $2,000 is riding on whether or not you choose to call, so please do it right now. at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
30 calls in now with 23 to go, Cynthia. May I see some tapes there, and let's show these. My very strong hope is that there are some folks left who have not yet contributed at the $300 level who would be able to and want to have these 9 videotapes, VHS cassettes. They are all 9 episodes, 10 hours, as a matter of fact. You understand episode number 1 was double length. 2 hours on this, and then 8 more hours, 10 hours in 9 video cassettes. The entire Civil War series available to you. Now, when we offered this before, it was, I think, at double that amount. I think it was at the $600 level,
so.
Something like that. But we've had very, very strong conversations, let's just leave it that way, negotiations with our distributor, and said we really need to be able to offer these to people at a lower gift level. So what's happened is we can offer you all 9 of these tapes, 10 hours of the Civil War at the $300 gift level. Can you imagine greater value? First of all, you understand you're not buying videotapes. What you're doing is supporting your habit for great television programs on Channel 17. Your $300 is going to do a mountain of good for us. It's also going to help us bring in this $2,000 challenge tonight. The phones have slowed down, and we can't afford that. Do you think we're only talking to people who can afford $300 gifts? It's not true. If all you can afford is a $25 gift for Channel 17 this afternoon, I challenge you to go to your telephone right now. We only have this one final break before the last portion of the episode, before 7 o'clock. So Cynthia and I are gone after the next couple of minutes. I can hear them cheering, Cynthia. You're terrific. I understand how you feel. You know we're doing what we're doing because we have to in order to bring you the programs. Now, are you doing what you have to do to bring us the programs? $25, is that too little to ask of you? I can't believe the phones are not jumping off the hook. You know this is your last opportunity for this afternoon. Yes, there'll be more opportunities tonight, but if you're continuing to watch the marathon tonight and tomorrow afternoon we'll be with you, watch it as a member. You'll understand and believe, and you'll be saying, as a lovely woman in Toronto said to me one day, when I wasn't a member, I used to think, Paul, get off there. I don't want to see you anymore. I want to see my program now. What I'm saying, after I've made my contribution, she was a major donor. After I made my contribution, became part of the family of Channel 17, I'm saying, yeah, come on, folks, join us. We want you in the family. We need your contribution. Please do the right thing. Look at these terrific young volunteers this afternoon, all coming out to support public television to take your pledge. It'll only take you 1 minute. The number's on your screen, that top number in Buffalo, and the rest of our great region from Southern Ontario and Western New York is the second number. These folks are from Amherst Youth Engaged in Service. Zach said I had to say that loud. And West Seneca East Government, we still have a volunteer from there. And Theta Sigma Tau from Buff State, is that right? Yay, a terrific new group. Say hi, Mom. They can't see. Can you see a monitor? Terrific young folks in to take your pledge. Will you do the right thing? Put them to work. We need every phone in this studio to be busy. We only have a couple of minutes before we're going back to the program, and this is our last shot, our last chance to cross that magic 400 pledge level. If you possibly can stretch to $300 as a contribution to Channel 17, it would mean so much to us, and then you're eligible for all 9 of these video cassettes. Remember that. Cynthia, would you let me show the Shelby Foot? I'm going to lower this a little bit here.
I'll try.
They are heavy. What is the number of pages in each of these?
I have no idea. There must be thousands of pages.
There are almost 1,000 pages in each of those. As long as I've got it out. Look, this is the Fredericksburg to Meridian. Notice that there are full maps. You need it forward, right? There are full maps in the forward, in the frontispiece, and then the story of the Civil War all the way through. This is Shelby Foot's master work. It is all 3 volumes in this slipcase, and it is available also at the $300 gift level. And as we have said all afternoon, you don't have to contribute at the 300 plus 300 level to get all of those together and to enjoy your new habit, perhaps, of your new hobby of studying the Civil War. You can have those, all of those, at the $500 gift level. Once more, let's show you what happens if you put those on a Visa, a MasterCard, or a Discover card. Not only will you receive the Sullivan Ballou letter, as all pledgers are this afternoon, you would receive at the $500 gift level, if that was your choice. We'll send you the list. You can choose what you want from that list. You receive all 9 video cassettes and the Civil War trilogy by Shelby Foote. Here's the Sullivan Ballou letter that all pledgers are getting this afternoon. There are lines available. You get the thank you gifts, but also if you'll charge your pledge on Visa, MasterCard, or Discover cards this afternoon, you get both of these, the Sporty Watch, the Casual Watch for Channel 17, Watch 17. It does show the time. If you touch the little button on the right, it shows the date. Touch it again, it shows seconds. So it's a fine watch. It's been running for 6 months or 7 by one of our staff members, and they enjoy it very much. You'll have that, plus the National Park Service look at the battlefields of the Civil War. All of these things come to you, plus 365 days and nights of great public television series. We are so close. We're going to Cynthia for an update. We're so close, but we're not across the line. Will you do the right thing this afternoon? If your gift is $300 or $500, that's wonderful. If your gift is $25, that's wonderful. Did you notice? The wonderful is there for both people. Everybody contributes. Come through for us. Put one of our volunteers to work. 881-4800 in Buffalo or 1-800-727-1017.
Paul, we're just 15 calls away. We have very, very little time in which to continue this. We really need to wrap it up very quickly. Just a few minutes now, they're telling me. 15 calls. Imagine that. 385 people
in
have
3
called
minutes?
and made a membership pledge since noon, and now we need just 15 calls. This 3 times over, and we'll be done. We'll be halfway to the $2,000 challenge, and we will have met this afternoon in this evening's goal. But not if you don't call. Don't wait until the bitter end. I know it's easy to sit back and say, well, I want to be the hero. I want to be the person who calls at the very end, and they say, oh, they pushed it over the top. Every single person who calls with a pledge in any amount is a real hero to us, whether they called at 20 minutes after noon or whether you call right now and make your membership pledge right now. You're an extraordinarily important individual for us. Now we're 13 calls away with 2 minutes to go. I quickly want to show you the hardcover book one more time, the beautiful, beautiful Civil War hardcover book with contributions by Ken and Rick Burns. A wonderful memory of the day you became a member, and something that I'm sure, look at those wonderful, wonderful photographs, that you'd want to pass along as a legacy to your family member, a child, a grandchild, whatever, after you're through with it. That's available at the $240 level. Just occurred to me that if you wanted to put that together with the compact disc, that would make a great set of thank you gifts at the $300 level. Now we're 12 calls away. Or put it together with the audio cassette, which I'm reaching over for here. That would be a $285 gift if that's your choice of audio technology. We can mix and match things together for you. We'll put them together in any way you like when you call and make a membership pledge. We are now just 11 calls away. I can barely read that.
Scribble, can you?
11 membership pledge calls away from earning the first part of this challenge. If every phone that has a person behind it could be busy with a pledge, we'd be there. We'd be all done. Let me show you one more thank you gift, this wonderful videotape that we dug out for you that's just wonderful. It's new, and we've been trying to get it for you for an awful long time. The beautiful video tour of the Civil War battlefields available to you for a $120 pledge or $10 a month. We're down to just 10 calls away. You, 390 people have called and made membership pledges. We are 10 calls away from earning the first part of this challenge. That's you and 9 others. 5 of the best people in Southern Ontario and 5 of the best people in Western New York. We're 9 calls away, but we're seconds away from going back to the program. We absolutely cannot extend this opportunity. Now we're 7 calls away. We're going to have to leave the telephone numbers there and hope and trust with all of our fingers and toes crossed that those 7 calls will come in as we go back to the program. We've come an awfully long way without you. With you, we can get all of the way there. Don't stop going to the telephone. We're going to leave the phone numbers there in just seconds. We're going on to the program. We need your help. We're 6 calls away at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017. Please call now.
We can do it. We can do it.
You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving Western New York and Southern Ontario. You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving Western New York and Southern Ontario.
Hi, we're here in the Channel 17 studios. We hope that you'll stay with us. As a matter of fact, we hope that you'll stay with us all evening long because we're going to be continuing our Civil War Marathon, and that's going to be continuing around 8 o'clock tonight, exactly at 8 o'clock tonight, as a matter of fact. So we really do want to make sure that you know that the Civil War is going to continue tonight here on Channel 17 and then conclude tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow afternoon.
That's right, 2:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, so please stay with us. Stay tuned for Wall Street Week, but right now we're going to ask you to do something very important, and we want to remind you also that this is the last Saturday of membership. This is the last opportunity that you're going to have to pledge your support for Inside Washington. It's a program that we know you like because we know you're out there watching it, but it is also a program that isn't part of the core schedule. It's a program that we have to buy, and it's a program, as all specially bought programs are, they're always in danger of not having enough support to be able to purchase them in the future. This is not a threat to take the program off the air. We're just letting you know and laying it right on the line that because of some substantial cuts in New York State funding, we really do need everybody's support in order to be able to make up the difference. So if you enjoy the program, if you want to see it continue here on Channel 17, we're asking you to get involved this evening and go to your telephone and make a pledge. We'd love to take at least 25 members around Inside Washington this evening, and if you aren't a member yet, we're hoping that you'll go to the telephone and make your call. You may say to yourself, well, I'd like to make a pledge, but I don't really know how much. I don't want to pledge too little. I certainly don't want to pledge more than is expected of me. I don't really know what to do here. Well, we have some suggestions for you. Of course, you can pledge anything you like. Some people pledge $1 a week, for example. Some people choose one of those monthly amounts, like $5 or $7.50 or $10 a month. Those work out really well because it allows you to make a major contribution. It allows you to take away a really nice thank you gift. And it also allows you to make a real big difference without having to take that all out of one budget, all out of one paycheck. If you made a $60 pledge or a $120 pledge, then maybe that would be a little hard, as it would be for me to just write a check for $60 or $120 unexpectedly. But here at Channel 17, we've set up the monthly payment plan, so you can make a pledge of $60 or $120 and pay it at $5 a month or $10 a month. If you'd like to stretch a little bit more and pay off your pledge of $180 at $15 a month, you might want to have a hardcover edition of the book that has hit the bestseller list now, and I hear is really wonderful. I have a copy at home. I haven't read it yet. It's David McCullough's Truman, and it's a wonderful book. It's really big. It's going to take you probably a long time to read it, but I know it's going to be well worth it. And this hardcover edition of Truman can come your way with a membership pledge at the $180 level. We have other thank you gifts. You'll get the complete list when we have your name and address, and that's all we're asking of you tonight. Not that you write out your check, but that you give us your name, your address, and the amount of your choice to support programming like Inside Washington here on Channel 17. This is the last Saturday. It's your last chance to become a member on a Saturday for your favorite program. Please do it now at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
As Goldie told you, the amount of your pledge is really up to you. It always has been, and it always will be. And maybe your choice is, say, a $35 or $45 or $25 pledge and put on a charge card. I think that's a wonderful way to make your pledge. We can put your dollars to work instantly. You become an instant member of Channel 17. It's a very easy way to make a pledge. When you do that, at any level of the $10 level on up, we can send you a bonus gift just for charging, and that is the Channel 17 Sports Watch. It's terrific looking, and it keeps great time. If you punch the button on the side once, you get the date, and another time you get the second-hand countdown, and punch it a third time, you're back to the time of day. That's for any charge pledge of $10 or more tonight, but the important thing is that if you pledge at the $45 level, you are entitled to a thank you gift plus the Channel 17 watch. We'll throw that in as a bonus gift just for charging. Inside Washington is a fascinating program. In modern day life, I don't know about you, but I don't have time to read every newspaper cover to cover that I'd like to, or even to be sure that I can catch every minute of every newscast, even when it's as good as the McNeil Air News Hour is every weeknight on Channel 17. I think what the people at Inside Washington do every single week is incredibly valuable, and obviously you agree. Else you wouldn't be devoting the single most precious commodity you have, not your dollars, not yet, but your time, with Inside Washington. The very fact that you've chosen this program as part of your repertoire tonight means that you value it. We ask you to value it enough tonight to secure its position in Channel 17's program schedule, even as we face some of the most difficult budget situations we've ever encountered. We need to show you what those are. The state of New York has cut our funding for the last 2 years because of New York State funding problems, and we have been recommended for a third year of cuts. The left-hand bar graph, the one that says 13,295, is our budget 3 years ago. This represents our budget projected for the coming year, just 3 years beyond that. You can see that the difference between the top of the one and the bottom and the top of the other represents the cost containment measures that Channel 17 has implemented in response to 2 years of budget cuts. But my friends, although federal money has stayed about the same, program sales and others about the same, look at what has happened to the state money. If this current recommended cuts go through, we will have lost well over 50% of our state monies, and that means an annual, not a total, but an annual loss of nearly $1,800,000. Our contributions, the green area here keeping up, they're rising, but they must rise further, and that's where you come in. If this is the kind of program you value, please don't put us in a position 2 weeks from now when we evaluate costs of programs and whether or not the support is there to continue them. Please don't put us in the position of making a difficult choice with regard to Inside Washington. It's just simply too valuable. Go to your telephone right now. For a $90 pledge tonight, we can offer you a wonderful thank you gift. I can't tell you, every car I've owned has coffee stains all over the seat because I never really found, until I found this one, the perfect commuter mug. And I got to tell you, this is the perfect commuter mug. It has a wonderful rubber base that secures it on any dash of any car. It's got a hard plastic insert so you will not dribble on your shirt or your dress. It's nice and big, holds about 2.5 cups of coffee. It says WNED Channel 17 on it, and that can be a thank you gift at the $90 level. Or you could choose this terrific book called The Canadians. This is Andrew H. Malcolm's famous book talking about Canada and Canadians. It's heralded by everyone from the Boston Globe to the Washington Post, Book World, Time, Kansas City Star, and Philadelphia Inquirer. And that could be a terrific read, as they say, for you as you take it away as your thank you gift to Channel 17. That also is an option at the $90 level, or $7.50 a month. Time is getting away from us. We're about a minute away from going on to Wall Street Week. And then something wonderful, after Wall Street Week, something wonderful is going to happen. As Goldie told you, we'll continue our Civil War marathon. And even though you've missed a portion of it, we pick back up with Gettysburg. So we're about halfway through the war. There's much, much more to come. You believe me, you can jump right into it and really, really enjoy it, and then continue on with us starting at 2:30 this afternoon as we wrap up perhaps the most influential thing ever on television. Please go to your telephone right now, though, and call. As we take you on to Wall Street Week, we're looking for your call now. Thanks.
You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving western New York and southern Ontario. You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving western New York and southern Ontario.
Civil War continues.
The next day was Pickett's charge.
Just amazing.
Wow, the famous Pickett's charge. It really is. You know, it doesn't matter how many times you see this. You marvel at this use of television. The Universal Battle, this is episode 5 of the landmark, land-breaking television series, The Civil War, coming up in just a moment, and followed by remaining episodes, and the whole thing will conclude tomorrow on Channel 17, starting at 2:30 in the afternoon. I'll tell you, if you've landed on this tonight by accident and were surprised that the Civil War was back on television, I'm sure it was a wonderful present to yourself tonight. There simply isn't any better use of television than this. I'm Susan Hayes, here with Goldie Gardner in the studios of Channel 17 with you for just a few moments to do some business that will likely mean the difference between Channel 17 being able to bring you the next series, the caliber of the Civil War. It may even be produced by Ken Burns, who is now wedded to public television and determined to do all or most of his work with us, and the difference between our not perhaps being in a position not to purchase such a program. You know, as I think back on the origin of this series, I have to tell you that there was a time when anyone doubted whether it would ever occur. If you had gone to any other television outlet other than public television, if a man like Ken Burns had gone to any place else but public television and said, I want to do a history of the Civil War in 10 hours with still photographs and music and words from people's diaries, no one would have funded it. No one would have taken that gargantuan of a financial risk. But public television and its funders, corporate and mostly members who support Channel 17 and other public television stations, made this incredible series happen. We are absolutely delighted to be bringing it to you tonight, but I need to tell you that while we're all watching it together tonight and enjoying it once again, maybe you're enjoying it for the first time, we need your help more than we've ever needed it before. Tonight, we are concluding, either successfully or not successfully, a $2,000 challenge, which we can claim to invest in programs like the Civil War in the coming months and coming year if we can take now remaining 300 pledges of support. Enough people called this afternoon when the series began to help us get a portion of that way, and now we are just 300 pledges away from being where we must be to gain that $2,000. Your individual pledge of support made on behalf of a series like the Civil War will speak volumes as it helps Channel 17 confront one of the most severe financial obstacles we've ever had, a potential third year of New York State funding that we'll explain to you a little bit later. Please go to your telephone and call us right now. One of the two numbers you see on your screen. I want to tell you straight away that we have the most remarkable thank you gift we can offer you tonight. Now, your pledge does not have to be at any particular level to help us on that challenge. But if you are in a position, perhaps have $300 that you can devote to Channel 17's programs, invest in them, maybe $300 worth of room on a Visa, a Discover card, or a MasterCard tonight, you can take away the entire set of Civil War tapes, the entire series that you're watching, to pass down from generation to generation, 10 hours of the best television you've ever seen, and 9 video cassette tapes. Maybe you would want to watch them, keep them in your family library, and pass them down to your children, your grandchildren. Maybe share them with a local library or a Sunday school class, or with your temple library, or maybe with a community group that you're involved in. Every single moment of the Civil War is chronicled here without any membership breaks in them, professionally done and in color, obviously, for a pledge of just $300. Now, you can put that on a credit card tonight, and we will actually send you 2 bonus gifts. One is a terrific brochure that allows you to tour vicariously, to tour the battlefields. It's called Visiting the Battlefields of the Civil War. And if you are going down to Virginia, or you're going into Pennsylvania, or into other parts of New York State, or other ground on which the Civil War was fought, maybe this summer on vacation, or maybe you're going to take a weekend trip somewhere, this is an invaluable resource. That is bonus gift number 1 for charging your pledge tonight. But bonus gift number 2 is a Channel 17 Sports Watch. There's a great package of thank you gifts, tangible thank you gifts awaiting you tonight as you make your pledge of support. But it is critical that we hear from you right now. We need at least 50 pledges on this membership break to make things happen and to continue our path toward that $2,000 challenge. If you won't pledge around the Civil War, I can't imagine a better television program that would inspire you to become a member of Channel 17. Won't you go to your telephone now, please, at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
And getting the videotapes, I think, is really a big incentive tonight, because when the Civil War was first shown, we offered them at a higher membership level, and still we really got a lot of takers, a lot of people who really wanted to have the entire series in their home, as Susan said, to share with future generations, and also just to have in your own video library. I've also got something available at that $300 level. As a matter of fact, you can have the combination of the gift that I'm going to show you and the videotapes as well for your pledge at the $600 level. But if you can pledge $300, we've got a box set of the Shelby Foote history of the Civil War. And this is called the Civil War, and it includes Fredericksburg to Meridian, Red River to Appomattox, and Fort Sumter to Perrysville. And all of these wonderful books, and there's 3 of them. You can see them right there. They're big, thick books, as you might expect, and they're hailed by the critics as the definitive history of the Civil War. All 3 of them will come your way in this beautiful box set for a membership pledge at the $300 level. So if you'd rather have the books, that's okay, or if you'd like them both, perhaps you'd like the books and the videotapes, and that whole package, imagine all the reading and viewing you'll ever need in your life will come your way for a membership pledge at the $600 level. A pledge level that's certainly not for everyone, but if it can be for you, we're hoping that you'll call tonight to make your pledge. About 4 people have called so far. We're 46 calls away. If you're saying to yourself, well, gee, I'd like to call and make a pledge, and I can even charge my pledge, but I can't really afford $300 or $600. I wonder if they have anything for me at perhaps a $60 or $90 level. Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, Susan has something to show you for everyone who calls in to make a pledge, right?
That's absolutely true. You probably know about something called the Sullivan Ballou letter. I'll tell you, I'll read a little bit of it to you first. It is a letter from a gentleman who wrote it on July 14th, 1861. Only about a few days, actually. I think 5 days later, he happened to be killed. I think it was the Second Battle of Bull Run. And he writes to my very dear Sarah, his wife, he says, "But Sarah, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those they loved, I shall always be near you. In the gladdest days and in the darkest nights, always, always." And so on and so forth. "Sarah, do not mourn me dead. Think I am gone and wait for thee, for we shall meet again." It is an absolutely exquisite piece of history and an exquisite love letter. We'll be happy to send it to you. We know thousands and thousands of people who have called around all over North America, have made pledges of support to Channel 17 and to other public television stations just to get this inspirational letter to inspire them in moments when they think times are bleak and then they look back on this era of history. This can come your way for a pledge of anything at all. We will send this to you with every pledge tonight. We will enclose it in your pledge packet, and you will have that as a memento no matter what the amount of your pledge. Please go to your telephone right now. You know, this is the kind of television that changes people's lives. It has changed everyone's life. I grew up in the South where we lived and breathed the Civil War from the time when we were little. We thought there wasn't anything else that we could learn about that period of history. And yet I know when we watched it in my house, it changed us. It sparked my family to go on a hunt for ancestors, and we now know some things about our ancestral involvement in the war between the states or the Civil War on both sides that we never would have known. Information that we're passing along to the next generation. Wonderful. My parents were in their 70s and had never really done that search, and it was Ken Burns' incredible depiction of this period of history for all of us as North Americans, which touched all of our ancestors as North Americans, which made it's just made such a difference in the way people view history. I know for kids in school, the history teachers tell us, all of a sudden, kids who had no interest whatsoever in the dry dates and names of generals and in the places that they had to memorize for tests, all of a sudden it came to life for them. That's what public television can and does do, but it only does it if the dollars are there. Please go to your telephone and call us right now. We're working on this 50 calls, but we need to get about 40 more people on the telephone right now, you and 39 other people. We also have a thank you gift at the $120 level that I think is wonderful. It's called On Hallowed Ground. It is touring the Civil War battlefields, and what it does is to take you onto the major Civil War battlefields and let you relive the story behind each conflict. It even takes you to Appomattox Courthouse where the solemn surrender took place, where it is said when Robert E. Lee turned his sword over to General Grant, in respect of Lee's chivalry and in respect of his military prowess and the fact that he was a gentleman of great integrity, gave it back to him. It was that kind of very, very emotional moment. It takes you to Appomattox. It takes you on the major battlefields, Manassas and Antietam and Fredericksburg and Gettysburg, and then the surrender. That is for a pledge of just $120. For a pledge of $90, Goldie tells me we have 10 calls in. 10 calls in. We are 40 calls away, folks. Please go to your telephone now. This is a pictorial history of the Civil War years for a pledge of just $90 tonight. And again, you may want to put that on a credit card. You can take this away as our thank you gift. Wonderful, wonderful pictures of historical documents. There's a bill that was posted that talked about the fact that the Union had dissolved, that South Carolina had seceded from the Union. Got terrific pictures of Jefferson Davis and of Abraham Lincoln. A wonderful resource for you and your children to learn from. Some great reproductions I don't think I've ever seen in a book. As clear a reproduction of many of the documents that really tell the story of that period of history. There's the Emancipation Proclamation reproduced there in this book for you with great narration. That's at the $90 level, and the actual companion volume to Rick and Ken Burns' series, The Civil War, taking you in the very same way that they did on videotape, taking you in print through the war years and presenting them in such a personal and intimate account from Mary Chestnut and from the soldier in Maine and all the other people whose voices and words he uses to take us through these years. It's a terrific book. That is at the $240 level. Don't forget, you get those 2 extra gifts that we showed you earlier for just pledging on a credit card tonight. Please go to your telephone and call us. Our volunteers are wonderful people tonight. They're from Theta Sigma Tau. Our supervisor is Sarita Dugas, and we also have great folks here tonight from Marsh and McLennan. The only thing they want you to know about them is that they're ready to take your pledge. Please call right now. I fear we are running out of time, and we're about 35 calls away at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
You see that a lot of the volunteers, we have a lot of them too. We're very grateful to everyone who came down today and gave up their Saturday evening so that you could become a member of Channel 17. You know, if we didn't have any volunteers, we couldn't do anything during these membership opportunities because there would be no great volunteers here to answer the telephones. And on a night like last Saturday night when we had some weather problems, indeed, we had very few volunteers to answer the telephone, so we're especially grateful to these fine folks who have given up their day. But they didn't give up their Saturday so that they could talk to each other. They can do that anytime, right? They gave up their Saturday so that they could talk to you and welcome you as our newest member of Channel 17. If you can make a membership pledge of $60, pay it at $5 a month, we've got a compact disc that we can offer you. Now, normally, we have to ask for a little bit higher pledge level for a compact disc, but tonight for this very special presentation of the Civil War, this is the original soundtrack recording of the Civil War, and that's available for a pledge of only $60. If you'd like to pledge under $50, we've got an audio cassette of the very same soundtrack for a pledge at the $45 level. Don't forget these videotapes, the whole series, the entire series, will come your way for a membership pledge at the $300 level. And believe me, you're going to be mighty sorry if you pass up the chance to get all the videotapes, every single one. When you make your membership pledge of $300, you can pay that on a monthly basis if you like. If you'd rather make a membership pledge and put it on your charge card, we can do that too. The most important thing to remember, though, is that we have gifts at just about any level. Just to say thank you to you, just because you were nice enough to call and make that pledge. You don't have to pledge much. Maybe you're out there and you're a student and you're saying to yourself, golly, I'd love to call. I want to be part of that challenge, but I could never do $300. My golly, that's like living expenses for the next 6 months. I understand. But what we'd like you to do is consider perhaps calling in with a $10 one-time pledge or $15, whatever you feel you can afford. That's what the good part is about becoming a member of Channel 17, knowing that you're supporting really great television programs like the Civil War, but also knowing that every pledge counts, every single one. Your pledge can't be too small. It certainly can't be too large. Most people pledge, I don't know, 120, 90, 60, in around there. But don't feel that you have to stick with something that we mentioned. You can decide to make a membership pledge and pledge any amount you like. 16 people have called. We're 34 calls away with moments to go before we go on to the conclusion of this episode, and then on to a couple more tonight, concluding the entire series tomorrow afternoon. Please go to your telephone. Make sure that television programming like this can continue in the future. You know, if public television, as Susan mentioned, didn't want to take a chance on this series when it was proposed to them, nobody would be watching the Civil War right now. Or a couple years ago when it was first on. It would never have become a reality if it hadn't been for people just like you and me who already were members of public television. We enabled the system to take a chance on this marvelous film something that is an event, a television event really, that is going to be remembered for many, many years to come, probably as one of the best things that television has ever done, ever, on any channel. Go to your telephone and make your pledge now. Let us, suppose something like this comes up in the future. I don't know. You never know what people are developing, what ideas they're coming up with. And suppose somebody has just a glimmer of an idea. We want to make sure that all those ideas can become reality, because maybe we'll get something again that is this great, that is going to make such a difference to so many people. 20 people have called. We're 30 away. Please go to your telephone and make a difference tonight. Don't let us down, because in reality, you're letting yourself down. You're saying to yourself, well, I don't really deserve good television like this. It doesn't really matter if I have this to watch or if I'm watching an old rerun of I Love Lucy. It's all the same. I don't think you feel that way. I really think that you know how much you deserve to have programming like this. And the only way we can continue it is if we have your help. Hard times here at public television, hard times a lot of places, and maybe it is in your house too, but see if you can set aside just a couple of dollars to let us know that you're out there and you care about public television. Go to your telephone and make your pledge now. How are we doing?
Well, we've taken 25, I think, 24, 25,
okay.
So we're halfway there, but we only have about a minute left before we return to the program. One of the people you meet in the Civil War, along with Mary Chestnut and along with all the other soldiers and women and generals and all the sorts of people, ordinary people, and who talk about their experiences in that era, is you meet Shelby Foote, who wrote, since Bruce Catton had written his trilogy, wrote the definitive trilogy on the Civil War, and it's included in this 3-volume set called The Civil War, taking you all the way from the beginning to the end in a box set. We can offer it to you. Goldie, I've forgotten the pledge level.
300.
300 at the $300 level. If you put the tapes together, if you are a real Civil War buff, and you must have the tapes at the $300 level, and also want Shelby Foote's terrific reading, take you about 6 months to read it all probably, if you don't read full time for a living, then all of that can come to you for a $600 pledge. And although we realize that is not a pledge level for everyone, it might be well within your means tonight. If it is, you can make a real difference in your own home, and you can make a real difference here at Channel 17, so we can deliver the very best that television can be. It doesn't get any better than this. And this series would never, ever have seen the light of day if public television hadn't invested in it. It's not a commercially profitable venture, that is. It's the kind of thing that only a member-supported service can provide. Will you be part of that tonight? I hope you will. It's time for us to return to the second part of the Universe of Battle, followed by Simply Murder and the other episodes as we make our way through the night, and then conclude the series tomorrow at 2:30. We hope you'll be with us. But we hope you'll be with us as a member. We'll leave the phone number up for a couple of minutes so that you can make your thank you gift selection and make your pledge right now at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17 Buffalo, serving Western New York and Southern Ontario.
Wow.
Hi, we're going to be bringing you the rest of this episode, and then another one following it, and then the concluding episodes are tomorrow beginning at 2:30, right?
2:30.
But right now we've got some news to report to you, so please stay by your television set. And also we need you, if you haven't already done so, to call 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017 and make a membership pledge to Channel 17 just for great television programs like the Civil War that we're all watching together. Maybe it's the first time you've seen it, maybe it's the second or third time, but I know you can't fail to be moved by this marvelous series. What an idea to have still photographs, people talking in the background, a little bit of music, a little bit of sound effects, not one moving picture, not that I've seen. And boy, to think that it makes powerful television is just amazing. What a vision Ken Burns had when he made this series, and he might certainly have other ideas in mind, or someone else just like Ken Burns might be around thinking about another project, another fabulous project for public television, and whether or not we'll be able to afford it is all up to you. We're working on a $2,000 challenge that began early today around noon. Paul and Cynthia, who were here earlier, did a really fine job getting a lot of pledges on board during the time that they were here. Then we took a little bit of a break for some public affairs programming and came back at 8 o'clock with the concluding episodes for tonight. We are still 260 members away from reaching the terms of that $2,000 challenge. We'd love to take at least 50 members right now, 50 pledges right now for great television programs like the Civil War here on public television. And you can help with your pledge in absolutely any amount. Many people called and have been calling all day about getting these videotapes, and I'll tell you, this is one heck of a deal, if I must say so, because when we first aired the Civil War, we did offer the videotapes, but they were at a much higher pledge level, I believe $500 or $600. We are able, through a special arrangement, to offer them to you this time for a membership pledge of $300 to Channel 17. I know it's a lot of money, and it probably isn't for everyone in our audience, but if you can do that pledge, you can pay it at $25 a month, and you can take away all 9 videotapes of the series that we're seeing now. No, there won't be pledge breaks in them. I know that disappoints you terribly, but these are just going to be the seamless series, and I know, I'm positive, that this is going to make a real difference to you to be able to have all 9 tapes in your library, and that's available to you absolutely free. You're not going to get pictures of them. You're not going to get shortened versions. You're not going to get, one tape that has excerpts from the 9 episodes. You're going to get all 9 episodes to you absolutely free just for calling and making that membership pledge. If you're able to charge it on MasterCard, Visa, or the Discover card, we can also send you, in addition to the tapes, the Channel 17 Sports Watch, and in addition to that, the Civil War Battlefields. Now that's a nice booklet, and if you're going to be doing any visiting of the Civil War battlefields, it tells you all about what to expect, how to prepare for your visit, what to do when you arrive, what to do once you're on the battlefield, how you can even trace your own ancestry as far as who you might have had that fought in the Civil War. It's all in that very informative booklet, and will come your way for any charge pledge tonight. We also are sending to everyone who makes a membership pledge that very famous letter from Elijah Rhodes, wasn't it? Yes? No?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
We'll
get it in a minute.
Okay, we'll get it. I'm sorry.
Sullivan Blues.
Oh, that's right. Sullivan Blues. That's right.
Blues.
Major Sullivan Blues letter to his wife, Sarah, 7 days before being killed in the first battle of Bull Run. And this is just amazing. You're going to get one absolutely free, just for calling and making a pledge in any amount. So think about it. If you can do that pledge at $300, you'll get the letter, you'll get all 9 tapes. If you charge it, you'll get the Battlefields guide, you'll get the watch. We'll give you everything but the kitchen sink, for heaven's sake, just because we're so thrilled and happy that you called in and you thought enough of this great programming to make a membership pledge to Channel 17. When you see that big moving van pulling up to your house, it's going to be all your gifts from Channel 17 just because you called, and you're going to have to clear a whole space in your house just to accept all the wonderful things and the great programming which comes to you every single day, day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, just because somebody else called and made a membership pledge to Channel 17. Won't you join them now and make a big difference in your own life, because you're the kind of person who really deserves good television programming. You're not watching something else now, and you had a lot of choices. We know that, especially now with cable television. You pay your cable bill, perhaps because you want better reception and because you want more choices on your television dial. But you chose to watch Channel 17. Why? Because you knew that it was going to be an extraordinary evening of television, and you wanted to be a part of it. Now be a part of it in even more of an important way by calling and making your membership pledge to Channel 17. Would you do it now, please? If you've already called, thank you so much. If not, we're still looking for 260 people. You know, so many people are watching right now, Susan. We should be able to take 260 on this break.
And we could give the rest of the evening off to just program content
That's
without
right.
any membership pledges. Please go to your telephone and call us now. 11 people have called. We are 39 calls away. When we goof, we admit it, and we goofed, okay? We want to let you know that we were misinformed, as the saying goes. We presented this a package deal at the wrong level next time. You'll be happy to know it's actually at a lower level, and someone called and let us know then. We are sorry. We just simply read the sticker wrong. But you can take away as your thank you gift tonight, and I realize this is not a pledge level for every single person, but you can take away both all of the tapes that Goldie showed you, the entire series, The Civil War, on 9 videotapes, the whole thing professionally done for a pledge of $300. That part we got correct. You could take away Shelby Foote's wonderful collection, trilogy of the Civil War, the definitive trilogy. Many people argue whether it's Catton or Foote. I think these days everybody knows it's Shelby Foote's. He does a magnificent job, and this is in a wonderful slipcase, by the way. It'll just look great on your shelf. That is at the $300 level, but you can take away both the tapes, the whole set of tapes, and the Shelby Foote trilogy. Almost too much to hold on your lap here for a pledge, not of $600, that's what we said that was wrong, but for a pledge of just $500. I realize not for everyone, but if you are one of those folks who can do that and put it on a Visa, MasterCard, or Discover card, you'll take away the tapes, the books, and the Civil War Battlefield Guide, and the watch that we showed you earlier. If you don't want to do it that way, maybe you'll want to do that at $40-something a month. That's all right, too. You can do it that way, or maybe make a couple of payments bi-monthly or semi-annually or quarterly or something like that. You can take away all of this, and of course you get the Sullivan Ballou letter thrown in for good measure. A wonderful collection of thank you gifts. Again, the tapes at the $300 level, the Shelby Foote collection at the $300 level, but both of them at the $500 level. I cannot imagine a better deal than that here tonight at Channel 17 as you help us earn $2,000 to support programs like Rick Burns' wonderful masterpiece. This is more than television. This is artistry. In everyone's list of the top 5 television programs or series they've seen in their lifetimes, I bet you the Civil War would be in anyone's list. Whether it also included Roots, or whether it also included Lonesome Dove, something from a commercial channel, or a Masterpiece Theater selection, or I, Claudius, or the Forsyth Saga.
Brideshead.
Or Brideshead Revisited on Channel 17. No matter what combination thereof you made, I'm sure the Civil War would be at the top of the list. This was a magnum opus. I can't remember what we all thought and felt about that incredibly pivotal part of North American history before this series. I guess we thought of it in terms of battles and generals and victories and defeats and central issues, but we didn't have the words of Mary Chestnut until Rick Burns and Ken Burns found them in an attic somewhere. And we didn't have the words of Elijah Hunt Rhodes until they found them in an archive in a museum somewhere. And we wouldn't have had any of it brought to television for all of us to grow from and to learn from. And the way that Ken Burns puts it all together and shows us how it has affected all of our lives, we wouldn't have had any of that treasure trove of valuable information and insight if it hadn't been for public television members who were willing to pay for the program. Will you go to your telephone and be part of that? That's a wonderful thing to be part of. It's like being a terrific patron of someone of Renoir or of Rembrandt, or of someone, a wonderful musician, a patron of Bach or Mozart's, because in 20th century terms, in 1990s terms, what you're doing is supporting through a very different medium, to be sure, but supporting that level of quality. That's what your pledge is all about tonight. Please go to your telephone and make that call right now. We've taken 13 pledges, but folks, we've got to get the job done a lot more quickly. We're 37 calls away. Whether or not you ever visit a Civil War battlefield, you can visit a Civil War battlefield just by having your VCR tuned in and by choosing as your thank you gift tonight this terrific video cassette called Touring Civil War Battlefields. It takes you to Manassas, 1st and 2nd Bull Run in 1861 and 62, Antietam, then on to Fredericksburg, then to Gettysburg, which if you've never been to Gettysburg, they tell me, I've never been there, they tell me it's an unbelievable trip, and then to the surrender, to Lee's surrender to Grant at Appomattox Courthouse, Appomattox, Virginia, on April 9th, 1865. It relives the story for you behind each conflict. Thousands of people reenact the battles because they have reenactments at almost all of these battlefields, and you see the actual battlefields as they were and as they are today. It's an unbelievable trip that you can take back through history and through portions of the country that are very, very distant from you. As you get this as your thank you gift at the $120 level or $10 a month. And don't forget, we throw in that terrific brochure touring the Civil War battlefield, and that'll help you. This also has in it, by the way, I don't know if Goldie said this or not, but it also has in it directions on how to trace your Civil War ancestors, how to write the National Archives, and how you get in touch, and what the fees are, and what you'll need to know, advanced materials and that sort of thing. That's a great, we'll throw that in just for pledging on a credit card tonight, and also throw in just for pledging on a credit card that Channel 17 watch. We are 16 calls in and 34 to go. Please go to your telephone and make your call of support. A little background information. This is a very difficult time for Channel 17. We're facing some financial obstacles that are probably best depicted by the graph that we'll show you now. The tall bar graph that you see shows our budget just 3 years ago, not even 3 years ago, and the shorter bar graph that you're going to see will show you our budget in the year projected. So this is 3 years ago, and this is now. The red area is state monies, and look at what has happened to them. Well over 50% projected state monies lost annually, a loss of nearly $1,800,000. My folks, if this had happened to us and all other public television stations several years ago, I don't know if the Civil War would ever have gotten made. But what has to happen at Channel 17 as we confront that problem, you can see federal support's not growing very much. Program sales are staying essentially even, and contributions, while they've risen, that green area needs to get pushed up because they have not risen nearly as quickly as state monies have fallen. We need your help to rectify that situation. We need you to invest in Channel 17 tonight. Go to your telephone and call us now, please, at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
And we'd like to take just a moment, please, to thank our volunteers this evening. They've been nice enough to come down here on a Saturday night and give up their time. They're from the Theta Sigma Tau organization. Our supervisor is Sarita Dugas, and we also have some folks from Marshall and McLennan here. And we also wanted to remind you that the Theta Sigma Tau is helping out the Literacy Volunteers of America, who also need your help. They need tutors very badly, and they're not going to ask you for money. They're going to ask you for some of your time. They're not going to just throw you into this, folks. So if you like to read and you like people, and you believe that by working together we can make this a better world, how about contacting them and sign up to be a literacy volunteer tutor? They have training sessions on Saturdays to make it easy for you. They're going to be having training sessions in April. And if you'd like more information about this, I think the Literacy Volunteers of America is in your telephone book, or you might want to jot down this number, 882-7323, and give them a call. I know they'd appreciate it. And so would a lot of other folks there that might have a little bit of difficulty with their reading, and we all know how important that is, especially in today's high-tech society. So please, help them out if you can. Now, back to the business at hand. We wanted to show you that if you can make a pledge at the $90 level, we've got a terrific pictorial history of the Civil War years. And this is really a fine, fine book, and can come your way for a pledge at the $90 level. And even if you pay that pledge monthly at the end of the year, when your pledge is paid, we'll be sending this out to you as our special thanks to you for becoming a member, if that's your choice. We have a lot of other choices, too. There's some text in here to follow along, but it's mostly pictures, and really, really fine, fine book. And that can come your way for a membership pledge at the $90 level. If you can pledge just $60, even if you pay it at $5 a month, you can take away an original soundtrack recording on CD, on compact disc, for that pledge at the $60 level. How about this? Why not put these two together, and you could have something to read and a little background music. It'll be almost like watching the Civil War again, and you can do this for the membership pledge at the $150 level, so you might want to do that too. Listen to this, though. If you can do $45 right now to Channel 17, we can send you an audio cassette of the soundtrack, all the beautiful music you hear, some of the recitations. I believe the blue letter is red on this cassette. I know that you'd love this as our special thank you to you for becoming a member at the $45 level. So we've got thank you gifts at all levels, whether it's $45 or $60 or $90 or $150 or $120. I know that you are going to be very, very happy that you called in to make a membership pledge to Channel 17. We've got about a minute to go before we go back.
Just a minute to go.
Just a minute to go, and we're counting up the membership pledges, hoping that we're closer to that goal of 50. I know that with 26 in and 24 to go, we can get that job done very quickly. Believe me, there's a $2,000 challenge on the line for tonight only. Oh, I know what happened. You thought that this challenge extended to tomorrow, and you could call tomorrow and be part of the challenge. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this winds up tonight, probably around midnight, and we really do need to hear from you. What are we looking for?
We're looking for to tell people who are tuning in for our 9:30 program.
Here we go. Okay.
That it'll be back
Keeping up
on March
appearances,
27th.
and there it goes.
There
Okay.
it goes. It's,
well, I'll
Keeping
get
Up
it.
Appearances was scheduled for 9:30 normally, but not this week, so we could bring you this very special marathon of the Civil War. As we prepare to go back to the program, what you're going to see as you go into the next program, I think we've got a little more of this one, but as you go into the next program, you're going to hear a biographical and see a biographical sketch of Lee and Grant. It's absolutely fascinating. It also, I think, draws the linkages between, on both sides, North and South, between the backgrounds of people who went to West Point together and then each ended up fighting each other and so forth. Or who had military training together. One studied under the other. One ended up on the northern side, one on the southern side. Fascinating, fascinating television. It is only fascinating and only there for all of us tonight because someone very much like you made a pledge of support. As we return you to the Civil War and as we continue to leave the phone number up for just a couple of minutes, will you be one of those special people who knows the difference between sitting back and passively receiving and making great things happen? You do have that power tonight. You really do. Call us right now with your pledge and be sure you exercise that power at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017. We're about 22 calls away.
You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving Western New York and Southern Ontario.
Oh, boy. We were just, we all memorized that in school. We were just sitting here, North and South, we memorized that in school, and still the words are ever so stirring today as they have been for over 100 years. Susan Hayes and Goldie Gardner with you one more time tonight. A couple more opportunities, actually, to let you know how we're doing on this very important challenge and with some very important information, news. This is going to be, because we've been running over tonight, this is going to be a very short membership break, and that means that the activity, the new membership pledges that we need from you, if you're not a member, and from everyone else who's not a member, who's enjoying and learning from and reveling in the Civil War tonight, need to be taken very, very quickly. Let me show you this tote board right away. The new figure is now 210 pledges. That's how many new pledges of support we must take tonight to earn a challenge that we have been working on since noon today. Now, the earlier part of the day, our audience that was with us earlier in the day did their part. Now it's your turn to help us earn $2,000 so that public television, in the face of very, very potentially devastating budget cuts from New York State and potentially very, very damaging financial obstacles, can continue to do the job for you. But we can only do that if you make your pledge of support right now at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017. Let me remind you, one of the reasons that a lot of people are pledging tonight at a level that's generally higher than the average pledge, but still within the means of many people, the $300 level, is so they can receive these. The entire set, all 9 videotapes tonight, are available to you as our thank you gift at the $300 level. Now, you can pay $300 off a number of ways. The best way is on your Visa, MasterCard, or Discover card, because you get extra gifts we'll show you in a minute. But you can also pay it at $25 a month, or 2 payments of $150 each, or 4 of $75. We'll work it for you almost anyway, all the way down to that monthly level over the next year of $25 a month. 10 hours, the full series, The Civil War, not one that you try to tape and you get a couple of membership breaks, or you miss the beginning of one and the end of another, and then you find out there's a glitch in the tape. These are professionally done, beautifully done, absolutely pristine, and they will last, in lovely cases. They will look terrific and in your home, in your video library, and you can pass them down to your children, to your friends, your relatives, the people in your community, people you're in a club with. Maybe lend them to a library. School libraries these days are so beleaguered in terms of funding. They would very much appreciate it, I'm sure, if you would lend them your copies of the Civil War tapes after you're through with them. Maybe you'll even want them back. It's a terrific way to remember the night you made a pledge to Channel 17 and invested in the very best television can be. That's the $300 level. It is not the only thing we have for you. For every pledge that is charged tonight, of $10 or more, we'll send you 2 gifts. The Touring Civil War Battlefields folder, little brochure, and a Channel 17 watch. The brochure will prepare you for perhaps that next vacation. If you're driving to Florida, stop off in Virginia and see Fredericksburg. Stop off in Pennsylvania and visit the Gettysburg battlefield. This will tell you exactly how to prepare yourself and your family, how to organize your materials, what you need to think about and imagine while you're there to get the full benefit of the trip, how to look up a Civil War ancestor and all that kind of thing. Terrific brochure that we send you just for charging your pledge tonight, over and above any gift you may choose, other gift you may choose, and the Channel 17 watch. But the important thing tonight is not how much you pledge, it's that you make a pledge of some amount on behalf of you and your family so that we can earn a $2,000 challenge grant for your programming. Do it now at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
Please do it now, 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017. It's really very, very important that everyone get involved tonight. The Civil War is an important program. Everyone will agree with that. We're not asking you to pledge for, you know, some 10th rerun of some situation comedy. This is what television could be all the time. This is what television is meant to be for people just like you, who really deserve good television programs on Channel 17 and all over on your television dial. Alas, they are too infrequent, but here on Channel 17, we strive to keep the quality up as far as our television programs go and bring you high-quality programs, whether it's the Civil War or Masterpiece Theater or the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour or Frontline, even our British comedy series. Please call us now so we can keep up the good work, even with the budget cuts that we've faced. And that's where you come in. You can help us now in this uphill battle that we face by going to the telephone and making your membership pledge. If your pledge can be at the $240 level, maybe $300 is a little too steep, or maybe you might have the videotapes, or you might not have a VCR, and you're saying to yourself, well, what could I get for around that level if I'm not interested in those videotapes? Well, how about this? This is the companion book, a hardcover edition. I have it at home in softcover. This is a hardcover edition of the Civil War, and this goes just right along with the series that we're seeing, both with the pictures and with the narratives. And I found some interesting photos here. They said that a lot of times before people went into battle in the Civil War, they had themselves photographed with their loved ones, and unfortunately they didn't have anyone's name that appears on these pictures. But it was really kind of poignant to see this, I think. I wonder how many of those men made it through the war. This is really a fantastic book. It can come your way for a membership pledge at the $240 level. Remember, it's a hardcover book worth about $50 in itself, and you can have it for your membership pledge of $240. If you'd like to charge that $240, we'll send you those other 2 gifts absolutely free, in addition to the blue letter, the famous letter to my darling Sarah, and that will also come your way. So you'll be getting a whole truckload of gifts just because you called in and made that membership pledge to Channel 17. This is really a beautiful book, and I know that you'd love it as our special thank you to you. We've taken 8 membership pledges. We're 52 away. We need you and 51 other people. I can't believe that there aren't 52 people in all of Western New York and Southern Ontario who care enough about high-quality, fine television programs like the Civil War to go to the telephone and part with some of your hard-earned dollars. I know that's not very easy to do these days, but think about all the entertainment value that you get and all the educational value that you get by watching Channel 17. And then do something about the kind of television programs that you see in your house. Don't let this opportunity go by without becoming a member of Channel 17. I know that you're going to feel a whole lot better, and I know that as you watch the rest of the Civil War, you're going to have a very proud feeling knowing that in whatever way you've chosen to do so, you are helping to make programming like this possible for you and your family and our community. Please go to your telephone and call now. We're 50 calls away. We need your call, please, at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017. Remember, there is a $2,000 challenge, and it's there. Can we get it or not? It all depends on you. Please go to your telephone and call us now. It's very, very important that you do.
I'll tell you, I am just absolutely astonished. If this were some fly-by-night performer that was giving a moderately good performance, I would understand that we were 50 pledges away with only a couple of minutes left in this message to go. But my dear friends, this is the Civil War. This is the series that turned television around. I have seen at least 6 series on commercial and public television since this became available, since this first was broadcast, that tried to imitate the Civil War. Didn't work. Didn't work in any of those cases, but it clearly has set the path for how good television can be and is influencing everything we get now on both public television and on some other outlets that attempt to imitate. We're asking you right now to be a part of what is happening good in the world of television. There is so much of it that is regrettable, isn't there? There's so much of television that you find reason in your office the next day after you've watched a program, or to your friends, or the people that you associate with during the day. There's so much that you complain about, and justifiably so. Don't you have to stand up and be counted with whatever dollars you can afford, whatever dollars you can work into your budget to make available the very, very best television possible. It's what we owe to ourselves. It's what we owe to our children. But it will not happen in the face of 50% losses and then some of state funding. It will not happen in the midst of a recession. It will not happen in difficult economic times. It will not happen when Channel 17 is struggling with those problems unless we can count on your pledge of support. Will you go to your telephone right now and make sure that you're not just sitting on your hands tonight, that you're really making terrific programs like this possible? Heaven forbid that another person like Ken Burns would ever come along with an idea and look for some money for it, and public television would have to say, we're sorry, the pledge dollars just weren't there the last time around, because if we don't say yes, you can bet your bottom dollar for this kind of enterprise, for this kind of very special programming, nobody else is going to say yes either. It remains to member-supported public television to keep the alternative alive, and the alternative is this kind of subject matter with this kind of quality. Go to your phone and be a part of that right now and help us do the job for you. Don't take $2,000 away from us tonight. Help us get $2,000 plus whatever amount your pledge is by calling 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017. It's incidental how much your pledge is. Just make the call and a pledge in some amount. We are 14 pledges in and 46 to go. A couple of thank you gifts to show you. The original soundtrack recording of the Civil War on compact disc with the haunting melody that you hear from time to time. There are 2 or 3 of them that really stick in your mind, aren't they? Aren't there? One is the Ashokan Farewell. The Battle Cry of Freedom is on here. We're Climbing Jacob's Ladder. The Dixie song, obviously. Johnny Has Gone for a Soldier. Shenandoah, Marching Through Georgia, Battle Hymn of the Republic, All Quiet on the Potomac. The whole soundtrack can be yours on a compact disc for an incredibly moderate pledge level of $60 or $5 a month. You can have the audio cassette of it at the $45 level. Bruce Catton won a National Book Award and a Pulitzer Prize for his trilogy, the Army of the Potomac trilogy, consisting of Mr. Lincoln's Army, Glory Road, and A Stillness at Appomattox. You can have the entire set for a pledge of $180 or $15 a month. That's an option. And if you're someone who says, no, I really prefer the writings and the analysis of Shelby Foote, real debate going on between Catton's interpretation and Foote's. Foote's is available for you as well. A few more words to read, but that's Shelby Foote after all. In a terrific-looking slipcase, you can have the whole set of Shelby Foote's trilogy, the bearded gentleman, scholarly type Southern gentleman that you see doing so much of the commentary on the Civil War. That's for a pledge of just $300. If you put it together with all of the tapes, we showed you that the tapes can be yours, the whole series, to enjoy for many, many years at the $300 level. But if you want the tapes and Shelby Foote's trilogy, that is for a pledge not of $600, as you might suspect, but for a pledge of just $500. But don't be put off by any of those high-sounding numbers. If you're thinking about making a pledge of $25, do it, or $10, or $15, or $20. Just make that call right now. We are 43 pledges away. It is clear to me we are not going to get there tonight without your pledge of support. Please call us right now at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
And we'd like to thank our volunteers again this evening, and they have been really terrific and in between times even doing things, wonderful things like stuffing envelopes, and we appreciate their help in the very many ways that they've offered it this evening. They're from the Theta Sigma Tau sorority from Buffalo State College, and their supervisor is Sarita Dugas. And we also have some nice folks here from Marsh and McLennan. And we thank everyone for their participation, and we hope that, whose dad was supposed to be watching here? Somebody called their dad, so I hope you're watching. We've taken 18 calls. We're 42 away. Please make your membership pledge call now. It is very, very important that we keep all these folks in the studio busy because it makes them feel good, to tell you the truth, when people call in and make membership pledges to them, because then they know that they gave up their time and it was very worthwhile to them. Because they did help so many people become a member. But if you haven't become a member yet, we're asking that you call, not for the volunteers or Susan and I, not for our crew or anyone else here at Channel 17, but for the programs, because you know how much the programs are worth to you. You know how much enjoyment you get, how much educational value you get from watching the program. So go to your telephone and make your pledge now. We're 39 calls away. We're going to be trusting that you're going to be keeping your telephone calls coming in as we go on to the rest of the program. Please don't let this opportunity to go by to get those videotapes for yourself or a book or anything else. But we need to hear from you now at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017. I'd like to show you a very, very nice thank you gift that's available for a pledge at the $90 level. And if you'd like to have this and pair it up with the soundtrack, well, we could do that for you too. The Civil War years, and this is a pictorial history of the Civil War, and this is a very good book, and it's by respected historian Paul Engel. It's a compact, masterly history of the war year by year with an introduction by award-winning author William Davis. And there's 350 photographs, artist sketches, and other illustrations never before published, and you can have one for your membership pledge at the $90 level. And I hope that you'll call with a pledge in some amount, because no matter what the amount of your pledge, you're going to be walking off tonight with a very nice gift. We're 36 calls away, and the telephones are beginning to get busy, but they're not as busy as they ought to be if we're going to be able to meet that goal. And that goal is taking an additional 36 calls on this membership break. Look at these pictures. How can you resist having a memento of the day that you decided to become a member of Channel 17 at that $90 level? Use your MasterCard, Visa, or the Discover card, and we'll be sending you out that nice little watch and the battlefield guide, as well as the letter, and you're going to be getting a whole package of thank you gifts. But the most important thank you we can send you is more good programming. We're 34 calls away. Please, let's get every single volunteer in the studio busy with a membership pledge call, and we'll be there. We'll be there with your help, because you decided to make a call tonight. You could have just sat there. You could have just remained lying on your couch. You could have just continued to clean up the kitchen or doing whatever you're doing. But no, you are one of the responsible people in Southern Ontario and Western New York who says, by golly, I ought to go to the telephone and make a pledge. It sounds reasonable. I use the service. I should pledge something. Maybe it's $5 a month. Maybe it's $500. No matter what the amount of your pledge, please get to the telephone and make sure that television programs continue like this in the future. Don't let this chance go by without you calling and becoming a member. Please do it now. Thanks so much to those who've called.
You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving Western New York and Southern Ontario.
Oh, boy, this is really terrific. And this is going to be a very, very short break. We just wanted to update you and let you know how we're doing on the $2,000 challenge, and maybe give you a little bit of a chance to go to the telephone and make that membership pledge call to Channel 17. We've updated our board, and we're thankful to everyone who's called in and helped us out with the $2,000 challenge. And now we're within 155 people. We need 155 more telephone calls with membership pledges in absolutely any amount. You're out there and you're saying to yourself, well, gee, I'd like to help out, but I really can't afford a whole lot. Well, if you call now with a $10 pledge or a $25 pledge, you'll help us out with that $2,000 challenge. So you'll register your vote in support of great programming like the Civil War, and yet it's not going to cost you any more than you feel that you can afford. If you're interested in one of the thank you gifts, you might want to make a pledge of $25 or $35. As a matter of fact, I talked to a woman that I hadn't seen in quite some time, a person who used to be a wonderful auction volunteer, and her whole family. It was just terrific. I hope you're still watching. And she made a substantial pledge because she wanted to get the tapes for one of her children, and she said it's going to be a hard time deciding which of the children to give them to, but that's what she was going to do. That was her idea. And if you'd like to do something like that, maybe have them for yourself now and then pass them on to your children, you can get all 9 videotapes, the whole series. You're not going to get, you know, a composite tape or anything like that. You're going to get exactly what you see here. They're going to come to you absolutely free if you call and make that pledge of $300. I know it's a lot, but you can do it at $25 a month, certainly not much more than your average cable bill or your average telephone bill, certainly a lot less than your heat bill. And I know that you get a lot of enjoyment out of watching Channel 17. These wonderful tapes, all 9 of them, every single one, they're all taped together here so we don't drop them. They know what klutzes we are, but they're all 9 here, and they'll come your way for a membership pledge at the $300 level. So I know that you'd love having these as our very special thank you to you for becoming a member at that $300 level. We've got the soundtrack at a pledge level of $60. We've got it on a CD. We've got an audio cassette at a pledge level of $45. We've got books. We've got a lot of things that we're going to be talking to you about. But the most important thing now that is uppermost in our minds, certainly, is getting that 155 members down to 0 to be able to collect that $2,000 for programming. 10 people have rushed to the telephone, putting us 60 away from our goal on this break. Please make your pledge now, no matter what the amount you're going to help, no matter how much you decide to pledge, whether it's a big $300 or whether it's $60 or whether it's $10, your pledge is going to count toward the $2,000 challenge. I could never afford, I don't think, unless I won the lottery or something like that, to make a pledge of $2,000 to Channel 17. But I know if I were sitting out there, I would really think seriously about the fact that my pledge in any amount would help toward that $2,000 challenge. Please help with your pledge. You can do anything you like as long as you do something for public television tonight, the station that gave you a marvelous program like the Civil War. Please go to your telephone and make your pledge. If you've already called, thank you so much. If not, we really, really, really need to hear from you tonight. Please do it.
At this point, 12 calls in and 58 calls to go on that goal of 70 on this membership message. Let me just go one step further with all the terrific things that Goldie just told you. I think you can't afford not to make a pledge to Channel 17 tonight. Can you afford not to make a pledge to a station that you use where your children grew up with Sesame Street and member-supported Sesame Street and member-supported Barney, perhaps for a grandchild or a child in your house these days, member-supported McNeil-Lair News available for you whenever you want to tune to it, member-supported Novas and Natures and Masterpiece Theaters and Mysteries, and now a terrific series like the Civil War. Ken Burns is a young man. He doesn't want to work in any other medium than public television. You may have even seen him speaking on promos that we've had on our air. No one speaks more eloquently about the cultural value for all of us of public television than Ken Burns. He has 100 other ideas that he could implement, and the only thing that will ever stand in the way of his doing that for public television audiences are member dollars. That's why you're so important tonight. As it gets later, it will become much more difficult to get those remaining 155 calls of support. That's why you mustn't sit back tonight. Really and truly, this is not the night to sit back. Please don't, you mustn't sit back and decide that your pledge is too small. There is no such thing here at Channel 17. There is only concerted action from people like you becoming members of Channel 17 to make terrific television possible. We want it to be good. We're very disappointed when it isn't good on whatever channel we watch. It's consistently superior, high-quality television. You know that. The best that television can be on Channel 17 because we're member-supported. And the Civil War is the best testimonial for that I can imagine. Please go to your telephone and make more moments like that on Channel 17 possible with your pledge of support. Thank you, Phil. I didn't even have to ask our ace cameraman, Phil, to get in tight on this book. It's a pictorial history of the Civil War, and it is a wonderful, wonderful book. There's Stonewall Jackson and Abraham Lincoln on the front with wonderful photographs inside. Now, Jeb Stuart is here. I think that's Jeb Stuart that I've got my little finger on. I believe that's right. We just heard about Jeb Stuart. As we flip through, we'll show you. I love this page. At the top page up here, that's Meade's headquarters. That's General Meade's headquarters. Take a look at that. I'm not quite sure what this tells us, but I think this is fascinating. Look at that little shack that were Meade's headquarters, and then you go down the page and you see the Lee house. You see where Lee had his headquarters. Very interesting somehow. You can even go to the back and look at the conspirators who were charged in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. An incredible photograph. I've never seen it. It's on this page right here of right up above this lady. Sorry, Phil. It's Lincoln's funeral procession, and then across the page, right across from there, the hangman's noose for the conspirators. Absolutely unbelievable photographs, and it doesn't matter what page you turn to. There's another one just like it, or facsimiles of important documents from that era. Unbelievable book. Are we offering it at a very, very high pledge level? No, sir. No, ma'am, we're not. At just the $90 level of supporters, $7.50 a month tonight, that can be our thank you gift to you. And of course, if you choose to put it on a credit card, Visa, MasterCard, or Discover, we can send you the book and the Channel 17 watch and the Civil War Battlefields Guide, the brochure. A wonderful package, tangible remains of your support, tangible representations of the night that you became a member of Channel 17 and helped us get a $2,000 challenge. Goldie's doing some counting here. We have only a couple of minutes left, and I think we are at least 54 pledges away right now. It's clear to me we will not get that $2,000 challenge tonight without you. Please go to your phone and call us now at 881-4800 or 1-800-727-1017.
We're actually 49 membership pledges away from reaching that goal of 70 on this break. That'll still leave kind of a big chunk to do following the next part of the Civil War, but we'll worry about that tomorrow. As Scarlett O'Hara would say, we're not going to worry about that right now, because right now we're a bit worried that you haven't made your membership pledge call to Channel 17. I'll tell you, if the tapes haven't done it, if the book hasn't done it, how about this? It's the companion volume to the Civil War. Now, this is the companion to the Ward and Burns series that we're seeing right now, and it goes right through exactly as you're seeing it, with many of the same photographs, the same diary entries, the same narration, exactly what we're seeing now. And this can come your way for a membership pledge at the $240 level. And I found some interesting things too, and this was the last picture ever taken of President Lincoln, and it said that he posed for one shot, and then as the photographer was developing the film, the plate cracked, and they just threw it out. They developed the one picture, which is this one, and they thought, well, we'll have other chances to take the president's picture, so they didn't think too much of it at the time. Well, what an amazing story, because right that same night, of course, he was assassinated at Ford's Theater. So that's just one of the little tidbits you could learn by reading this magnificent book. I know you would appreciate it as our way of saying thank you to you for becoming a member of Channel 17. Page after page of photographs, of text, letting you become even more familiar and letting you know in even more intimate detail all about the war between the states. Nothing like it has ever happened before or since. And we certainly hope that nothing will ever happen like that again. Here is a whole photo album of people, pictures of soldiers during the Civil War. And this whole book can come your way for a membership pledge at the $240 level. Please go to your telephone and make your pledge now. We're 47 calls away, and it's very, very important that everyone get involved in some way. With moments to go before we go on to the rest of the tonight's episode, please go to your telephone and call us. We can't delay any longer. I know that 10 minutes after 11, you probably don't feel very much like making a telephone call, but we're asking that you do because it's very, very important for everyone to get involved in public television. Our state support has fallen off dramatically. Our federal support has too. And I think people, both in Albany and in Washington, are saying, well, let the people that watch it take care of helping to pay the bills. Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying our best to convince you of how important each and every pledge is for us here at Channel 17. We want to remind you one more time, with 44 pledges to go, about the tapes, because so many people have been calling in and asking about them. You will get, yes, you will get all 9 videotapes. Somebody asked if it was just a little earlier in the evening, somebody called and said, well, are you going to send me one tape with sort of highlights of the series? No, no, ma'am, not at all. We're going to be sending you, every tape is representative of one show. And one of them, of course, was a 2-hour special, so all 9 will come your way. Nicely, very, very nicely done, and I know that you're going to enjoy them and really, really be happy that you called in and made that $300 pledge, because you're going to be getting the 9 videotapes. If you can charge it, we'll be sending you the watch and the guide to the battlefields and the letter. You're going to be getting a lot of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gifts just because you made that pledge call. Okay, here we go.
One more time for this
One more time for the package?
Sure,
okay, go ahead.
Somebody was asking. Well, sure. The tapes are at the $300 level, as we said. Tapes at the $300 level, but you can also choose as an option Shelby Foote's trilogy, famous Civil War trilogy in this terrific looking case, and that is for a pledge of $300, but not as you would expect. We have put together a package that is not 300 plus 300 equals 600, but for a pledge of $500, not a pledge level for everyone, but it might be for you, and if it is, what a wonderful collection of thank you gifts you could take away. All of the tapes and all of Shelby Foote's trilogy for a pledge, not of $600, but of just $500. You could even pay that off on a monthly basis at $40-something a month. We would work that out for you. It's time to go back to the program. Please understand that Channel 17 needs your support, yes, and we'll throw in the watch as well for putting your pledge on a charge card tonight, Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. Please understand, though, that with $2,000 hanging on the line, Channel 17 has never, ever needed your support more. And you know what? Let's not even phrase it that way. It isn't Channel 17, not the people at Channel 17 that you're pledging for. Certainly, you're pledging for the programs. We're simply in your service. And the only thing that will ever stand in the way of our serving you and your family the way you ought to be served, with the very best television any money can buy, is lack of dollars. That won't happen. We'll be able to deliver on that promise to you day in and day out if those dollars are there. Don't let us fall even one pledge short of a $2,000 challenge tonight, not when we don't yet have you on our rolls. Call us now as we take you back to the Civil War, and then stay tuned afterwards. There's a wonderful program called Long Shadows that talks about the long-term effects of the Civil War conflict on all parts of North America. It's just a fascinating look. That'll be coming up right after that. As we return you to the Civil War, please call with your pledge now, and we'll leave the phone number up so you can do just that. Thanks.
You're watching member-supported WNED TV, Channel 17, Buffalo, serving western New York and southern Ontario.
Wow. Just terrific. The Civil War concludes tomorrow, starting at 2:30 in the afternoon, but this is not the end of terrific programming tonight, because coming up in just a few moments is a wonderful program, fascinating program called Long Shadows. It picks up where the Civil War leaves off and basically takes the conflict and the effects of the Civil War and chases them through American history and through North American history to the present day, showing you the residual effects of that conflict of so very, very long ago. Right now, though, is what we need to concentrate on, because this is our last membership break of the night and our last chance to ask for your help in earning a $2,000 challenge. This is an awful, awful big challenge tonight, $2,000. And right now, in order to earn it, we need to take no fewer than 112 membership pledges, yours and the pledges of 111 other people. Don't worry about them, but please tonight, for all that you've seen on Channel 17 through the years, and maybe not gotten around to help paying for all that your children have used this station, for all that you've used it, for the Sesame Streets and the Barneys and the Novas and the Natures and all the wonderful alternative that member-supported television is, and particularly tonight, for series like the Civil War, don't let us fall even one pledge short of a $2,000 challenge. That would be the tragedy here in the studio tonight if we did that and it was because we didn't have your membership pledge. Please go to your telephone and call us now, remembering that the really spectacular news tonight, membership news, is that through some real haggling and some talking to our distributors, we have gotten the whole series, the 9 tapes, the 9 videotapes that comprise the series, The Civil War. We are able to offer them to you, rather, at a pledge level that is more reasonable and more modest than we've ever been able to do before. I remember when these were once at the $600 or $500 level. We can now offer you all of the Civil War for your very own video library to be cherished, just as a cherished book is in your house, to be passed down from generation to generation and enjoyed for decades and decades to come for a pledge level of just $300. Now, that is not necessarily a pledge level for everyone, but it might very well be yours, and if it is, what a terrific tangible thank you gift you could have. All of the series on video cassette, all 10 hours of it. One of the tapes is 2 hours long, so it's on 9 videotapes for a pledge of just $300, and if you put that on your Visa, MasterCard, or